My name is Alita Passoa. I am originally from São Paulo, Brazil. I work as a tech policy consultant. I'm currently working on a project with the United Nations about e-commerce. And my background is actually in law, but I've worked all my life in international relations. But the project that I'm working on is based in Latin America, and we're also going to use it for Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa. It's focused on SMEs. So thinking about how we can prepare policymakers to make legislation or programs to kind of uplift small entrepreneurs into the e-commerce era.
Interesting. And this is, broadly speaking, all Latin American countries.
Yeah. So we're specifically focusing on Brazil right now because Brazil is such an outlier. But the project talks about data privacy, logistics, international trade agreements, antitrust, and also economic and digital transformation programs. So it's a lot of different things, but they all interconnect when you're thinking about e-commerce and especially small companies. Because Latin America, traditionally, is kind of resistant to online commerce, but it's now one of the places where it's growing the most. Because with the pandemic, everyone kind of had to adopt it, and then the idea is to make sure that it's a tide that raises all the boats, and people don't get left behind. I think the biggest value of something like this is actually exchanging ideas and listening from people that are coming from completely different fields, have different knowledge, and tech is such an all-encompassing thing. We keep saying about how the solutions need to be multidisciplinary, but most conversations are not necessarily. I've attended many events that feel like we're just agreeing with each other because that's all we think about. And here, it was really interesting because it's true academia talking to industry and talking to civic society and NGOs, and it's also heartwarming to see how many different people are thinking about the same problems, even if there's not as much communication and collaboration as we would want to. Sometimes we're all trying to come up with the solutions for the same issues, and it's hard to build of the effort that someone else already, of the work that someone else already did. So moments like this where you exchange and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If I'm writing a paper now, I can go through the archives and build on the research that was done by people 3 years ago. And that is so important because when it comes to social media especially and technology, it's really hard for civil society, governments, and academia to catch up. The pace is just so different, and the structure of those institutions too, it's not built to be agile. So these moments where magic happens a little bit, I think they're amazing. Also, another very heartwarming moment was seeing younger people bringing amazing solutions. There were some presentations done by students that are still in high school. Another one done by students, I think, from Boston University on an entire framework of how you think about sex workers and how to not marginalize them in social media, and a level of detail and solution-oriented focus that I wish my generation had. So it brings me hope to see that they, are aware of the problem and are doing something about it.